Hello, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to AfterBuzz. You will want to stay tuned for all the lowdown on all the drama.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Smelly cat, smelly cat, what are they feeding you? Everybody! Smelly cat, it's not your fault.
It won't take you to...
There you go.
That is good.
Welcome back. We are back with the challenge, Rivals 3, and you're probably wondering why we are playing Smelly Cat and Friends. Well, we've got a treat for you. We've got special guest, Camila Nakagawa. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Nakagawa. All right. You better be revealing some secrets because we've got a lot of questions for you. This season seems like the most dramatic ever.
It is.
Now,
it's pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah. But before we get into that, let me introduce to our new co-host. I'm Paulina Aguilar. You guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar. And we've got a new cast member.
Hello, I'm Angela Struck, and you can find me on Twitter at @TheAngelaStruck and on Instagram at Angela Struck.
Camila, where
And
can
she
everybody
needs
find
no
you?
introduction.
Right?
I'm Camila, and you can find me at Camila MTV everywhere.
All right, now to start us off, we're kind of going to go through tonight's episode. We see everybody arrive in Mexico, which I think
Yes,
everybody here
gorgeous.
loves Mexico.
Hola.
Which, by the way, I was just asking Camila why the season was supposed to be all in Spanish. I'm all waiting for it. I mean,
was?
well, that's what the previews were supposed to be. Everything was told in Spanish, unless
You're
I got the
I
wrong
remember
memo.
that. Yeah, there were commercials definitely promoting that.
Yeah,
I feel like there would be a problem because a lot of
Yeah, a
people
lot
would
of
not
the fa-
understand.
Oh, that's
Yes.
true.
Maybe that was on
true.
a different channel or something.
I
But
was hoping.
yeah, Mexico looked gorgeous.
It is. It was a very little small town, Huatuco, and it's like a surf town. It was very different than just like Acapulco and everything.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was, very tiny airport, but other than that, great.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so now we see, fast forward to everybody mingling, picking rooms. We see the Are You the One cast members arguing, and we see the vets hanging out by the pool, like all secret, like,
Oh, that was
yay.
hilarious.
watching
That
them.
shot in the pool
What-
of
what
all
are-
the vets,
what are
Wes
your-
and them,
Oh
like,
man.
Well, they showed up, and I think they were so confused because they thought this was Are You the One still, and it is not Are You the One.
I was gonna say, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts of them being on the challenge show now?
I mean, it's different. I can't hate on them because I come from spring break. I don't even have my own like real world or anything like that. So, I kind of want to welcome them with open arms, but it's really hard because it's like, oh, like, what are you doing here? Like, they just have a different mentality. The way they view the show, everything's just different.
yeah.
Do you think it's because some of them are young?
Very young. Oh my God, I'm so old.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
It's funny too because as a fan, we want to see the familiar faces that we love and we've been with through years, watching them grow on the show. So secretly, we still all want them to go home just as much as you do. At least I do.
I do too.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
like them
true
on it.
because the same way you guys feel is how we feel. We just want to have people there that we know.
Yeah.
It's familiar. Whether even the people
Even if
that
you hate
even
them.
if you hate them,
Yeah.
you'd rather
Right.
have them there than have some like a lot of new kids. It's a lot of new kids.
Yeah.
And between the Bloodlines and the new Are You the One kids, it's just a lot of new kids, and it's also scary. It's a lot of money on the line, and you don't know who you can trust.
Yeah.
Oh.
But they always bring in some of the older, familiar faces later in the season. So I'm hoping that some of our favorites will show up, like Zach and CT.
Oh, Zach, you already know. It's not a secret who your favorite is anymore.
That's hilarious.
Yes. No, I love them all.
So how was skydiving? That's the first thing we see here, just before
Amazing.
the whole challenge starts.
Have you done skydiving before that? Never.
It's kind of funny because as much as I do a lot of crazy things on the show, I don't do a lot of crazy things outside of the show. So that was
Really?
like, no. And skydiving has been on the top of my bucket list. So when they told us we were going skydiving, I flipped out and I was so excited. And it was literally one of the favorite things I've ever done in my life. Best feeling ever.
Nani was kind of making fun of you about how excited you were.
She was mad.
She wasn't
She
liking
was
it.
having a panic attack. Me and Sarah, we were on the same little plane, and it's very scary when you go up because the plane's so tiny. And she was bawling, and me and Sarah literally could not contain our happiness, and we were trying to hold back from being excited because Nani was getting mad at us.
That is hilarious because I was watching this and Angela was like,
I
I would be like,
I would be
Nani.
Nani. I knew I would love it once I'm, doing it, but that first leap, I think, would be really intimidating.
It is, but me and Sarah actually cried with Nani because she was having a real hard time. So it was almost like watching her overcome that, and it was like, oh my God, my little baby, she did it.
That's true friendship right there. That's
You
hilarious.
always have such a big heart for your competitors. I mean, last season, seeing you with your sister, it was so. I mean, you were so protective. You just didn't want anybody to do anything to her, and it was really sweet to watch. It seems like you kind of have that relationship, I guess, with Nani and some of the other.
I do. I tend to want to protect everyone, and if I see someone talking wrong to you, I tend to get to business that I don't really belong to because I'm trying to protect somebody, and then I go crazy. Of course.
Let's jump onto that topic. No. Okay, now these partners. Now we've seen all the partnerships form. I mean, your reaction to Tony was not the best.
You were really upset.
I was truly genuinely upset.
So out of the guys there, who would rather have been with? Who's less of a douchebag? I guess
if I had to choose someone to be partners with, it will be Bananas, and I will say this over and over. I don't care any beef between us. I will pick him every time because
why?
Because we work so well together. We want to show together.
Yeah.
I mean, we just work well together. There's no questions. We don't even need to communicate.
Yeah.
It just happens.
It just works, that chemistry.
Other than him, I mean, not many of those guys.
So what can you reveal about you and Tony's adventure as teaming? Since
Let's just say that the first challenge is a preview of what's to come. It's pretty much that over and over. It's a lot of up and downs. There's a lot of tears. It's a lot of Tony fighting, me crying, me fighting. It's, it's same old, except we're doing it together. So it's like times 100.
Did you guys ever kind of come to the conclusion over the fight that you guys had on Bloodlines when it came to you, your sister?
That we were going to be rivals?
Did you ever do you have a discussion with him, I guess, during the season of Rivals 3 or prior about what
the
happened
fight?
with your sister? And everything?
No, I don't know how to explain. If you mess with me and I have a beef with you, I can get over things. Now, when it came to my sister, I had a hard time getting over it. He came and apologized the next day, and I just wanted nothing to do with his apology.
Right.
I didn't want to be mean to him, but he was I was just indifferent because it actually really hurt me. I mean, he really offended my little sister, and to me, that's a line that you do not cross. So we never really talked about it, but I definitely went in this season. I wouldn't say with wanting revenge or just anger, but I just was very unhappy with the fact that I had to deal with him.
I almost feel like if you brought a sibling or any kind of family member onto the show, you've done it so many seasons that you feel responsible and gosh, why would I put her in this position where she's gonna, be hurt, and that's tough.
Yeah, it's really hard. And anybody that knows me outside of the show knows how I am with my sister. That was a tough one, we left soon and early, and I was thankful. Actually, it sucked at first, but then I was like, I'm actually really glad we left this early because it would have made me crazy.
Yeah.
And it would have gone so much better.
Yeah.
But it clearly shows who you were as a person and how protected you can be on the show.
I was sad that you went home so early.
Yeah.
I was too. I mean, it would have been great to get a win, whether it's first, second, or third place with my sister, or even run a final. There's no feeling like running a final. It's such a good feeling. So it would have been great to get there with her. But the experience was great. I mean, she ate cockroaches with me,
She was a sport.
There's an experience for you. She did really good.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that my sister will be back sometime and that she's going to kick ass.
How is she doing now since the show?
Great. She's finishing college in
good for
December.
her.
And
Is she in Nebraska too?
She's in Nebraska.
Okay.
Go Big Red. She's there. She's dating, and she wants to move to New York when she graduates. I mean, she's living the adult life. She's 22 now, and just gotta grow up. So
I think Camila must be the most fiery person in all of Nebraska.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. They're probably like, what is this tornado doing here?
actually, I have my family is there. So my family, I have people in my family,
Even more so than
yes.
you.
but I won't tell who.
That's awesome.
You're pointing to your cousin.
Yes.
For those at home that don't know, she's pointing to her cousin. So.
That's right here.
So back to Tony. In the first episode, we see him start trouble with Simone.
He's got a big mouth.
In the first one, is it the alcohol? Is it like just him? Does he want attention? Like what?
It's
What
a
is
mixture
it?
of all of it. It's a mixture of all of it. Tony's just like a big lab. Like he's like a puppy. Like
Yeah.
he's just like that puppy that sometimes he loses control of his tail and it's
Starts
just like
humping your leg.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and he's not a bad person by any means. Like I do love Tony. I genuinely do care about him as a person. But he's a little bit like me if he drinks too much in different ways. I think I have to drink a lot more than him. I think it takes less for him to get to that point, and then he gets to a point where I don't think he knows what the heck he's talking about.
I agree.
And he won't hold back, and he will say whatever comes to his mind, and sometimes that is some very stupid things.
Yeah.
That
You
must be
know?
so hard to have someone like that, like
How
kind
do
of
you do it?
determine like how well you do in a challenge. And
Yeah.
determine everything.
That's yeah.
Go ahead.
No, that's what made it really hard because it was like I was very nervous. I was like, if I'm somebody that I know how they do, or how they are, if I've done more with them, I kind of can plan like, okay, we need to work this strategy or that.
Right.
With him, it was kind of like I have no idea. It was a toss up. Like,
But I think that's what the viewers like though too. That's part of the challenge. It's a challenge within
Yeah.
itself, and so I think if it was too cohesive as far as partners, it would be too easy, and it would be no drama and kind of be a little bit boring.
Exactly. And I think he held back a little bit because he was trying to make sure that we were going to do good. But the thing is, we both have very strong personalities. So, like, trying to get him to hold back almost backfires, Like, trying to be like, Tony, you can't do this or that. Like, I said that to him day one, and he could tell that I was really upset that he was my partner, and he wanted to prove something to me. But then, as soon as he drinks, the frustrations come
It all
out.
goes away. Yeah.
It seems like during the actual challenge, though, he was pretty good at taking your direction.
He is
And falling into line.
He really was. And sober, me and Tony can get along
Yeah.
just fine.
Yeah.
That's the key. People stay sober.
It's impossible in that
It's
house.
the key to life.
Right?
Yeah.
You would think. Gosh.
That is hilarious. So talk about that challenge. How scary was that being so high?
Yeah.
Let alone like I'm
And
just
you're
like.
so tiny. It's like you
know.
said.
But you follow Jenna's
You were
little
so
tactic,
close.
and
Yeah.
you guys with the arms out, a little,
You just
little bit of
had to-
yoga,
yeah.
and a
Yeah.
little bit of like.
Stiff. Being stiff was my strategy because that's all I could do. And I was like, Tony, I'm going. Like, I'm going to go like I'm a platform, and it's totally up to you to hold me. Because
Yeah.
there is nothing I could do but stay as stiff as possible. But being 5'2" is definitely...
Oh, it's a challenge.
It definitely is.
I understand.
No pun
completely.
intended. Yeah.
Not that it was just because I'm 5'2" that I didn't make it. By
Yeah.
no means am I trying to make an excuse.
Sure.
But it does make things hard, and only if you're that sure will you know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was. I love heights over water, you guys.
Really?
It is kind of fun.
I would much rather do heights over water any day versus doing anything on the ground.
I couldn't eat.
What's your
anything.
worst challenge
Ooh,
you've ever done?
Worst challenge I've ever done
Like
is
the actual activity, not the season.
Oh man, there's a few, but eating
Yeah.
challenges suck.
I would
As
think.
weird as it sounds, one of the hardest challenges for me was eating cake that had been sitting on the beach for hours and hours and hours. And like me and Bananas on Battle of the Exes had to do that, and we both were like, "Do you want to just?"
Was that
stop?
the wedding challenge?
cake? Yes.
Yes.
Over like crickets and cockroaches?
No, it was just a wedding cake.
No,
it
but
was
like you would rather
huge.
like eat and like crickets over a spoiled wedding
I've
cake?
never personally had to eat crickets. I've had to drink blood and eat like
Okay,
like
drink
animal
blood or
heads.
eat spoiled cake.
Yeah.
Drink blood. Because
Wow.
eating the cake takes longer. Like it takes chewing, and it's sitting there, so it's like rotten cake.
Yeah.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Jesus. Out of all of these teams, We see Jenna and Vince win. Who Jenna, I think, is a top competitor. I've seen it since the beginning.
She actually is.
No, she really is. I've said
And
it
I don't
since
think she's
she
as
started.
dumb as she plays.
No, she's
off.
ditzy. I thought it was hilarious that she explained herself a little bit, but
But she's the one that came up with that strategy. I mean, she's got a brain. She just, as she said, she doesn't think before she speaks.
right. But out of all of these teams, who is your biggest competitor? I mean,
For sure, Bananas and Sarah. Sarah is
they're
really
top dog.
good. Sarah has been good. The only reason why Sarah hasn't made to a final before she won, it's because she always got screwed over by somebody. So
Her partners.
Sarah, as soon as Sarah and Bananas got partnered, like you knew they were the top team in the house. Vince and Jenna, yes, Jenna is good. I think Jenna is more so like, I'll just do whatever. She's very neutral. So like if you say Jenna jump, she won't think about it. She'll just do it.
Right.
That's
so true.
seriously.
That is
And
so
actually
true.
that is so helpful in the challenge.
Yeah.
You know,
Don't
and
think,
Vince,
just
I don't think Vince did well at all in Bloodlines.
No.
You know?
He did
He
not.
was terrible. He
He did
skated
not.
by.
Yet
Yeah.
he is a strong guy, you know, and that being his second challenge, I think he prepared a little better. And then Jenna has done a few now, so she knows better.
Right.
And it's kind of crazy because it doesn't matter how scared you are of heights. If you do these like 3-4 times, eventually
It's nothing.
you're not scared anymore.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I mean? So that's why I think Jenna and Vince also became a strong, you know, team because she's not afraid of anything and Vince, you know, prepared more.
Do you guys, as the cast, kind of get a heads up of who's going on the show or what's
No.
or what it's called?
So not until you show up.
Not until we show up.
Wow.
We do our own research.
You're like us trying to
Yeah.
get spoilers. So not even like, hey, it's
Crazy.
the X, it's it's
No,
nothing.
no, nothing.
Wow.
They will never tell us anything. The only challenge they've ever told us ahead of time was Bloodlines because they had to.
Right.
They had to. It was really crazy because we got the call and it's like, are you available? And it's like, you either are or you're not. And then they were like, oh, we're actually going to tell you what it is.
Yeah.
And you can't tell anybody. And
That
I was
never
very
works.
surprised. Well, yeah.
And how soon before, you know, you have to pack your bags and leave do you find out that you're going?
That you're going on.
That you're selected, you know, for another season? and-
It depends. Sometimes it could be a week. Sometimes it's 2 weeks. Sometimes it's a month.
Wow.
I will say it's never more than a month. So they don't give us a lot of time.
Yeah.
Last season, we were talking about a lot of the obstacles. I don't know if you caught a few episodes, but we were wondering, as far as like, some of us thought it was unfair about the whole girls and guys and the weightlifting and, you know, like,
So unfair.
yeah, well, we thought it was unfair. Our question is, do the producers kind of go in last minute? I feel, you know, you construct a challenge, you test it out, make sure it's safe for everybody, but do you go in last minute and be like, let's tweak this a little bit, or let's change that, let's do this?
I don't know. Honestly, we don't know. We don't really know what goes behind the scenes. Like, we don't. I'm pretty sure that happens often because there are some challenges that are very junky. And junky, is that a word? Is that the right word? That I'm
Yeah,
thinking
that
of?
works.
Janky.
We'll take it.
Janky. Janky. That's what I meant. Janky. Some challenges are very like, did they just come up with
Yeah.
this like today?
Yeah.
You know, but there are other challenges that they have to have prepared for like days,
Yeah.
you know, to make it happen.
Oh man.
But we don't know. We're stuck in a house for real. Like, we're legit.
No TV.
Out, nothing. And when I say nothing, it's nothing.
No internet or emails to communicate?
Nothing. And when I tell you that production's getting tougher and tougher, they're getting tougher and tougher. We used to hide our cell phones like inside the mattresses and things like that. No, they find it. They
Wow.
will. They're like little ninjas. Like, they'll find anything that you're hiding. Even magazines, you're not allowed. Magazines, books, nothing.
Wow.
Not even
Interesting.
your own books.
Not even your own
That
books.
is a dirty
Because
little
they don't want
game
you
there.
just sitting there reading and being in your
No.
own world.
Oh, they want the drama.
Yeah.
When we
we want
we
the
play
drama, too.
poker a lot, and they take that. They take any games we have, anything that we do for fun. They take away
That's so funny.
because they want you to create drama.
Yeah. That
They
would
want
mess
you to
with my
be
mind,
in an
too.
environment, right?
That's
That's
a
why
little
it's like,
nutty.
Yeah.
it's like people think it's reality, and it is. Everything's real. It's not scripted. However, it's not a real environment.
It's high stakes.
Yeah, you have no outlets, right?
Yeah.
Nothing. You are my outlet. And we live together
Mm-hmm.
24/7. Sometimes we have absolutely nothing to do. We're counting the seconds. All we have to do is drink.
Yeah.
And then there's a competition behind it all. It gets crazy.
Wow.
Like, they know what they're doing.
MTV got it right.
They know how to get Camila Nader out. They got it figured out.
Now let's talk about those previews. Well, before that, Vince and Jenna win the challenge. So can you tell us if it's the pit? Is it the dome? Is it the same as the other rivals?
You know, I believe so. I believe all the rivals are the same. The jungle.
The jungle. Okay. All right. Can you tell us anything about what happens in there? Dang it. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying.
You gotta watch next
All
week.
right. Now, for the preview, we see a little bit of you get a little emotional. We see you arguing with TJ. Go on and tell everybody what happened.
I can't. Dang it. You're trying to be very smooth.
I am. Okay, now let's talk about your life outside of the show. You co-own a spa,
Yes.
correct? Tell us a little bit about that.
It's a total body cleansing spa in Miami, and it's called Clean Start, and you can check it out at cleanstartcleansing.com. We also have one in Atlanta now. That's really cool. Yeah. So it's a great little. I love my spa. It's so relaxing. We have a yoga studio, and our main service are colonics. So we do colonics, and that's like our biggest seller. But we also do foot detoxes, reps, everything detoxing. And then we also have an herb shop. So we do all kinds of cleansing at home and in the spa. We can offer like we have specialists that do these, and they can put you on like a program, like a detox program. It's really amazing because it's a great way for people to treat anything in a holistic form. So it's just a holistic spa, and it's really amazing. I love it.
You should bring one to LA. I feel like that would do really well here.
Yeah.
I know. Trust me.
Is that what you're doing here?
It's in the works.
Nice.
And then I read that you're doing a project about Brazil.
Yes.
Which I'm kind of looking for. It's a documentary, correct? That you're funding?
Docuseries. And it's going to be just based on the Olympics, and it's kind of like the behind the scenes of the Olympics. So we're partnering with this amazing charity, this nonprofit organization that's called Street Child United. And what they do is they take kids out of the streets and they give them sports and things to do and activities. So it's really amazing. We're trying to put on like a game for them so that we can do these games on the beach, and we're trying to take these kids to the Olympics, and then we're also going to go to the favelas, like the slums, and try to get to know some of these kids a little better, and like spending a day in their lives, and what it's really like to be in the reality of Brazil, because it's great and it's a beautiful country,
right?
But that's not all there is. There's so much help that is needed in Brazil. So it's just like bringing awareness to like some of those nonprofits and the people that are, dedicating their lives to helping Brazil.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people nowadays aren't aware of that stuff. Sometimes, people who travel, you go to beautiful places and you stay
and you forget about that.
You stay in the tourism spots.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when you think of Brazil, you think of soccer, you think of music, you think of
Fast and
style,
Furious.
fashion. You don't think of the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
So that's really great that you're bringing awareness.
Yeah, and I figure that sometimes all you need is just like to show something to somebody, and then maybe they're like, oh wow, like I could be making a difference, because I feel like we all have that little desire to make a difference within us, and sometimes we just need someone to like bring it out of us. And that's kind of what I want to do, because I know with my life, the thing that makes me the happiest is when I'm like focusing on others and not just focusing on my problems and my own problems,
Right.
So that's kind of the goal, to try to, bring awareness to the good stuff out there.
I love it
that's
when
good.
people, reality stars have these platforms, and when they put it to good use, that's really awesome.
That's the goal,
and admirable.
I have so much to thank for MTV. I mean, if it wasn't for MTV, if it wasn't for me going on spring break and almost dying because I ate habanero peppers, I wouldn't, on my spot today, I wouldn't have had the chance, to be doing what I'm doing. So I'm really thankful.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
How often do you go back home to Brazil?
I go at least once a year, but I usually go like twice a year, usually end of the year for Christmas and New Year's, and then sometime in the middle of the year. Yeah, because my whole family's there. I have very few family here in America.
I see.
I was just going to ask, I read that you won almost $85,000 in total over the years. And I was just curious what your favorite purchase was with some of that money, some of that prize money.
Awesome, good one.
My investment in my spa,
Yeah.
to be honest. And then one time I went to Shields, which is like a department store, and bought 3 bikes. I bought 3 bikes. I bought a skateboard. I bought a, what do you call those, like rollerblades things?
Rollerblades?
Yeah, I just pretty much bought anything from the sports section, and then I got home and I was like, why the heck did I buy 3 bikes?
Impulse.
Who needs 3 bikes?
Bicycles. not
Buyer's
motorcycles.
remorse.
Actually,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You're like, where am I
Bicycles.
going to put all of this stuff?
Why? So I went and returned one of them. I kept 2.
That's great. Love it.
I have a little bit of news and gossip, and I wanted to ask you about it. I know you tweeted about it.
I did.
And for those who, I know Angela did not know, yes, about your partner, who, congrats to him, is having another baby.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, gossip about him. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Tony, not her spa partner. Tony, her partner in the
Yes.
show.
My rival.
Yes.
Yes, he's having another baby.
From, with a girl who was his ex on the show.
So
On the
yes.
Real World.
So he went on the Real World, started dating, Madison. And then his ex came in, then he slept with her, and then, oh, Tony. And then he left the show, got back with Maddie, cheated on her with Christina on Bloodlines, then left the show, got back with Maddie because found out she was pregnant. And then now they had the baby, which
Right.
is so cute.
She is adorable.
By the way. And then now his new girlfriend, who is his ex-girlfriend, is also pregnant.
That's a lot.
Tony,
That's a lot.
I feel like Tony's gonna get his own little, like, what's
Spin-off?
the Teen Dad? I feel
Teen
like
Dad.
a Teen Dad's coming.
Well, I hope he does a lot better with you on the show.
She
Get
said,
together.
babies for
Get
me.
together.
she said he's like a puppy dog. I think he needs to get fixed.
There you go.
You know?
Oh, shots
love you,
fired.
Tony. No, it's
That's
great.
awesome. Well, do we have anything else to add? I mean, Camila, we love having you here. This is your first time here. You have to come back.
I will. I love this too.
Yeah,
this is fun.
I actually have one. Do you guys ever get to hang out with TJ? TJ
No.
is so secretive, and he's
Yes.
never out. And
He's
I
like
feel
a mysterious guy.
he is. I think we're gonna try to get him in here this season.
Oh, you
Do you guys
should.
never get to hang out, or like, what does he
Not
do
really.
on his downtime?
I think he just does his own thing. He probably goes and does some, laying around on the beach.
He's living it up. I mean, he's
like-
got the best job ever.
It's a
does.
fun job.
Yeah.
No, we just see him in between. Sometimes he puts in a little effort to just stick around. If we're doing a challenge, but other than that, not really.
I had one thing that we didn't bring up is Jamie and Ashley's hookup.
Oh, the first one of the season.
Yeah.
It was a good hookup. Like,
Did you see everything? Like, what could you see?
I don't know if they're gonna show this at all, but me and Corey, we found a little hiding spot, and we saw everything.
Oh, gosh.
We saw the entire thing because they didn't do it just once. But yeah, it was kind of like watching
Oh,
porn
so
on the
that's
challenge.
some news.
It was like we got TV, but it wasn't TV.
so
it was
you
just
mean
Jamie
not
and
once
Ashley.
that night, or
Oh no,
or
they
like it's
did it
coming
later.
up. They're gonna
I don't
keep.
know. I can't tell you what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah.
Do you have any hookups this season?
No,
I had to ask. I know. I'm sorry.
No,
I had to
or
ask.
we have to watch.
you have to watch.
Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you for tuning in, Camila. Thank you for being
thanks
here.
for having
And
me,
you have to come
girls.
back. Where can
Yes.
everybody find you?
Find me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat at Camila MTV, and my website CamilaNakagawa.com.
Angela, where can we find
You
you?
can find me at the Angela Struck on Twitter and at Angela Struck on Instagram and Facebook.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar and on Instagram at Paulina M Aguilar. Got a little tongue tied there. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
See you later.
Buzz.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.